Welcome back to another edition of the Pagcast. I'm your host, Michael Pagani, joined alongside Kamloops Blazers goalie Dylan Ernst. Dylan, welcome to the Pagcast. Thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
How have you been doing recently? You just had to skate with a couple of the dub guys the other day. So yeah, how have you been doing?
I've been doing really good. Got the opportunity to come out here early and get in a pretty good group session with a couple pro guys, couple WHL guys, and we've just been practicing and playing games. So it's great for coming this upcoming season.
And it must be nice during this time of the month in August, right, that you're able to kind of simulate what it might be like in games leading up to, I guess, preseason in a month now.
Yeah, it's great. It's always good to get games in before everything starts. Shake off the rest. So it's gonna be a really good season. I really hope so. Yeah.
What parts of your game are you working on this offseason?
I'm really working on my puck playing. I feel like that really needs to improve from last season. And I don't know, I just really want to be getting better for Memorial Cup for sure.
And you also participated in the Carolina Hurricanes development camp. What was that like? How did that help with your, puck playing that you're trying to work on?
It was amazing. Yeah, even for my puck playing, we actually did a session where we just focused on puck playing. It was great, and now I have the opportunity to go up there for the rookie tournament, which is going to be awesome.
And that must have led to so much, I guess, exposure to you, great experience there against prospects within their system.
Yeah, you know, like when I went there, as an undrafted guy, it's honestly more motivation, I guess, to outwork everyone. And I felt like I did really good at the camp, and I felt like I even got better just from being there, around all those guys, all the coaches, and it was just great.
And I guess, let's get into a bit of who you are, your story. Who is your biggest influence in hockey?
My biggest influence is probably my brother. He's a couple years older than me, so I always grew up trying to compete against him. Never got to play against him until last season actually, but yeah, I always just wanted to play where he was or get to the highest level that he was playing at, and yeah, he's definitely been my biggest influence.
And I assume that you guys grew up playing mini sticks against one another with you being the goalie, right?
Yeah, but they would always end in a hockey fight, even though it was real. But yeah, always end in that.
The classic brother hockey fight, right?
Yeah.
You start them young, the perfect age.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Was there a player growing up who you wanted to model your game after?
Honestly, I never had an NHL player that I modeled mine. I kind of just did what I felt was comfortable for me, and yeah, just never really had one of those players like that. Yeah.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea. Just creating your own mold, right? You're not
hmm
focusing on, let's say, Carey Price or Jonathan Quick, but kind of
Yeah.
focusing on, you yourself individually.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone has different preferences, and I knew that if I tried to do something else, it wouldn't work for me. So I want to do my own thing. Yeah.
Growing up in Saskatchewan, did you have a favorite NHL team?
I did, but it's not related. I like the Chicago Blackhawks pretty much my whole life, which is kind of odd, but yeah.
Well, look, I mean, they had that big dynasty, 3 cups in 6 years. So, I mean, it does show there is a reason why, you can like the Blackhawks there.
Yeah. I guess I hopped on the bandwagon when I was younger, not knowing what it was, but yeah.
What made you become a goalie?
Honestly, I wasn't very good at listening to drills when I was a forward, and I went goalie and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, see, that's a time where actually you don't have to listen to drills, is when you're in the net.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just pay attention to the puck hitting you. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before getting to Kamloops, you played with the Moose Jaw Warriors U18 AAA team. What was that experience like?
It was really good. It was my first time that I moved away from home, and honestly one of my favorite years. Had a bunch of great teammates there and a bunch of great coaches, and we were a really good team. It was just a perfect first year away from home.
And when you move away from home at that age, did you kind of experience some sort of level of maturity off the ice?
Yeah, for sure. Every year, more, I feel like I get more mature just being away from home. Especially when I moved to Kamloops because it's thousands of kilometers away from where I live, and I don't get to see my parents much, and I just have to learn to be more independent.
How big was it getting drafted to Kamloops?
It was huge. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Like I'm so grateful for it. Like I can't even imagine what it would be like if I got drafted anywhere else. It's amazing.
What do you remember from draft day? What did you end up doing to celebrate?
I I was in my class actually when I got drafted, but my teacher was also drafted in the WHL when he was younger, so he let me watch the whole thing. So he understood it all. So when I actually got drafted, he let me leave class early and like answer some calls. And it wasn't really much of a celebration actually. After I just like went out with my family, pretty much. But yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
That's actually really funny because at least there was some level of experience there, some
Hmm.
professionalism from your teacher allowing you to do that.
Yeah, yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
You had the opportunity to play at the Youth Olympic Games. How did you find out about that opportunity?
Uh, like a couple months, or I'd say like half a year before, I got an email saying I was long listed for the team. So like, ended up I like kind of thought about it, but like that was like the only email I got. So like I was kind of just like it was always in the back of my head, but it was never like a huge worry. But then uh during the season in Moose Jaw, I got a call saying that I made the team, and I was super excited about that. And I actually texted one of my buddies, Matt's, and I told him I didn't even know he made the team, but I told him I was like, I heard you made the team because it was supposed to be a secret to each other. And he's like, how'd you find out? Like he got really worried, and it was just awesome because I realized I got to play with one of my best buds.
And look at you guys now. You guys are on the same dub team as well. So it comes a long
Yeah,
way.
yeah, it's awesome playing. He's one of the best guys you'll ever meet.
What was a typical game day like in the YOG? Because, you guys are representing Canada and you guys don't play every day.
Yeah. A game day is usually we got up pretty early around like 8 a.m. and we would walk to like the breakfast hall. And usually we would go for a skate, like a morning skate, and then just pretty much rest all day and eat lunch. And then we'd walk over to the rink. All that walk was always pretty exciting, seeing all the fans waiting for you. But yeah, it was cool. It's really cool.
What did it mean for you to represent Canada at that level?
It was awesome. Yeah, I an experience like I can't even put in words. Like I don't even know how to explain it, but it was just one of the best times of my life. It was awesome.
Did your game change at all given the bigger ice surface?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't get much game time there, but when I did, I felt like I played good with all like with pressure and stuff, and that just gave me more confidence. Like knowing I could play decent with pressure was awesome.
Do you have any funny stories to share from that tournament?
I do. One was off ice. Me and Mats were walking to the breakfast hall, I guess, and we would do this thing where we would, when people were walking, we would kick the back of their leg towards their other leg, and they'd trip themselves. And I got Matt's pretty good, and he ended up rolling a little bit down the hill, and he just came at me, put me in a headlock, and started wrestling me right in front of everyone. It was hilarious. We still talk about it all the time.
Team bonding activities.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Was it difficult at all for you to find ice during the shortened WHL season?
Yeah, for sure. Like before the season, like didn't skate for months, and I don't even know when the last time I've ever done that was. Probably when I was in like novice or initiation or something. Like it was also pretty hard mentally, like trying to stay engaged to hockey. But ended up getting back on the, like moved to Kamloops early, which was I was grateful for because of COVID. I wasn't, like supposed to be leaving home, but I did, and I got ice and ended up like getting back into it pretty quick. So was tough, yeah.
So, you mentioned that you were trying to find ice there in the shortened season. It was kind of hard for you because with COVID and everything, you couldn't really move back. So, when we're talking about the conditioning aspect, how did you, make sure to properly condition yourself to be ready for when the season did start?
Yeah, like I don't know if there was like anything proper about it because there was no gyms open. So like everything I just worked out at home with my brother, just doing what like trying to use what we had. But honestly, it was pretty tough. Like we'd end up like we don't have a lot of like workout stuff in our house, like just like pretty much a treadmill. So we would just have to do a lot of body weight things. So like honestly, going into that season, I didn't feel like I was completely prepared until I actually moved to Kamloops and got on the ice. But yeah,
And I guess that move to Kamloops helped on the mental side as well. Like, okay, this is my hockey home, right?
yeah, yeah, it was great. Like when because we kept getting different dates when we're coming back, but when we finally got that date and it never got pushed back, it like just felt amazing to be back in Kamloops, even though if it was in the middle of January to start the year. But yeah, it was great.
What was it like playing in that bubble that season, only seeing a select amount of teams?
It was kind of different, yeah, but it wasn't necessarily like good or bad. Like obviously I got to play in my first season, which was really exciting, but I didn't really get to experience what the WHL was completely like that year, which was the downfall of it. But I was just happy to get that season that we got like at least some hockey, unlike what the OHL that didn't get any,
Yeah.
which was yeah. Mm.
Yeah, we were literally the only CHL league to not play, which is like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
like what is that about? Come on now.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
How has Dylan Garand mentored you throughout your career to this point?
Oh, like a huge amount. Every day he'll give me like new tips, or if I'm like not doing something completely right and I don't know, he'll even show me. But like he did more than he'll ever know. Like even on the ice, he helps me so much, and like off the ice, I just watch him, see what he does, and I'll try to copy some things that he does, and he gives me like lots of useful tips. He's a great guy and a great mentor.
Well, he won CHL goalie of the year for a reason, right?
Yeah, yeah, the most deserving guy to win that for sure.
How so when you did play in the bubble, how big of an adjustment was it for you to communicate with your defenseman given that there were no fans?
Yeah, it was a little odd, but I think we had a pretty good team. But honestly, it came out good. Like I don't even remember a record, but I think it was pretty good. Like only like 4 or 3 losses on all year, so I think we ended up making the most of the bubble season for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can do, right? You're putting
Mhm.
under so many restrictions that it's like, okay, how far can we go? And it's unfortunate the playoffs there were nothing there, but at least you guys got some sort of action, right?
Yeah, yeah. Any sort of hockey is good for sure.
Exactly. And I believe you started, around 24 games this past season,
Mhm.
295 goals against and a 900 save percentage. You saw a lot more action than you're kind of used to seeing. Was that an adjustment for you?
When Durand went to World Juniors, that was like the first time I actually got a couple like games in a row, and that was a big adjustment for me. I didn't play my best hockey, like the team didn't play our best hockey, and it was tough in that situation. But when Durand got hurt, actually I felt like I was ready, and I ended up playing really good. I got like goaltender of the week. My team helped me out big time, and like I think that little stretch there, like got my confidence like up, and now I'm like just ready to be the starter completely.
And although you didn't start in these playoffs that just happened, can you speak to the experience you got, whether it's just, your pregame routine that you went through or, you just soaking it all in?
Yeah, it was actually unbelievable. Like playing in Seattle too. Fans are great there, and fans were unbelievable up in Kamloops. So like it was huge like experience. Like I didn't know it was gonna be like that, and like all the guys were dialed in every day, and it's a grind, but you have to love it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was talking with Stinkov in the entire playoffs, and like I was dialed in as well because I think the
Yeah,
Sandman Center had like standing room only playoff games,
yeah. It was unbelievable. The fans were insane.
and that's playoff hockey in Kamloops. It's just the best hockey there is.
Yeah, yeah. It was awesome.
It was quite the run for the Blazers. I'm pretty sure we can all agree on that.
Yeah, but
You're
that game 7, we could. I think it still haunts us all, but I don't even know what to say about it.
it sucks that
Uh,
that the season ended in that fashion as well
yeah. That's a tough way to end the season.
because
But
I'm
we had
pretty
a
sure
good
you
year.
guys would have put up a good competition against Edmonton in the finals.
Yeah, for sure. It's just disappointing to think what it could have been, but I think we have to be happy about our year for sure there.
You just gotta take small steps, right? So you make the conference finals or whatever it's called, and then next step is moving to the finals. But obviously, you guys get a guaranteed Mem Cup berth, so that's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's all pretty much a second chance on it.
I guess my next question would be, going up against your brother, played against him this past season. What was that like? Because that must have been like a nice family battle right there.
Yeah, it was cool. We actually the time that we both played was on my dad's birthday, which was even more cool, and he was in the building. But we ended up winning. I think it was 6-1, and he got a pretty good shot on me, which he hit me right in the chest. But it was awesome playing against him. But I can't wait to do it again
Was
this
it
year.
was it discussed beforehand that you would get the start, or how did you find out leading up that on your dad's birthday you'd be getting a start against your brother?
I think I'm pretty sure my coach told me like a couple days before that I'd be starting that game, and then I like just talked to my parents, and it ended up working, being like the best game I could have gotten against my brother and on my dad's birthday, and it was just really cool.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine the atmosphere inside your family's house there. You guys going up against one another, you guys growing up playing mini sticks, like you mentioned. It must have been such a fun day.
Yeah, it was an awesome day. Like the only time I actually ever played against him was in preseason, but it's nothing like the a regular season game when you get to play like first time playing against my brother. It was awesome.
And plus, you secured the 2 points, right? That's what matters most. Giving advice for, I guess, younger goalies that may look up to you one day.
Yeah, like in your career, maybe things don't always go your way, but I think you just got to push through it and use everything as motivation. Like everyone goes through adversity, and you just got to look at it in different ways. And it's up to you if you want to turn that into a disadvantage or an advantage.
Awesome. Well, I'd like to thank again Dylan Ernst for joining me on today's Pagcast. Thank you again, Dylan.
Yeah, thanks for having me.